Welcome back to Black Clover Anime Review, episode number 72. This is I'm reviewing the 122nd episode of the anime, Pitch Black as It Gets. This episode adapts the entirety of chapters 118 and 119, 218, 219, excuse me, but it does not adapt the fully of chapter 220. So if it says 220 on there, it doesn't. It actually stops six and a quarter pages in. Yep. What happens in this episode? Well, we get the conclusion of the trial that started last week. Well, basically, we kind of have like two different cutaways here. We most focus on the trial for a bit, where Asa basically is like, everyone's like yelling at him, and then we cut to the outside where we see various characters who appeared throughout the previous arc. We see Sally, we see Vatos, we see the Necromancer, and they're cleaning up. They're basically prisoners, along with the former captain, former Orcus, and the guy from the technically the second arc of the series. I don't remember the guy's name. He basically has got chain magic. Yeah, their punishment, well, their atoning for sins, basically happened during the previous arc by cleaning up all the mess that the elves made. Yep. We also see Rebecca in the episode. Yep. Making her first appearance since in quite a while, actually. I think the last time she physically appeared in the series was like, she appeared in like 2 episodes of the previous arc. Brief cameos. Here she basically goes to see Sister Teresa, who is basically Teresa Marie. We see a bit of a flashback here, which this is actually added. Yeah, I believe this is added to the anime because this is actually not from the manga. This scene is actually completely anime original, where we get to figure out how Marie got to the capital, because in the manga, they never explain, like, hey, when did she get here? At least the anime actually explained it. Yep. And then we also have another addition to the anime, where, like, they're basically, Asa's being pronounced evil, he's about to be judged, and all of a sudden we see outside, we cut to outside, we see the Black Bull, one commanded by Henry, using its hand to transform into a drill and punch right through the wall of the Magic Parliament. In the manga, it just basically, like this, it just comes completely out of nowhere. This is another thing added in, which I think is fine. I mean, it's like, what's, like, bam! Everybody, of course, they also still have the addition of seeing Seke next to the Wizard King, which, by the way, he was not in this arc at all. Actually, he was seen at the beginning of this arc, but he did nothing. He never showed up after the first portion of this arc. Yeah, he appeared briefly at the start. After that, he hasn't appeared since then. It's something, though, the anime actually adds him into these scenes, even though he's not in there in the manga. Like, the Clover King is standing there by himself. And after you have all the Wizard Knight, all the magical knights there, as in the case of some of the Black Bulls, I would say, with the exception of Yami, Noel, and I would say with the exception of Yami and Noel, pretty much like everybody else, and that appeared for quite a while. I think the last time they appeared was actually just prior to them going into a lot of them anyways, though some of them did appear in last week's episode, but yeah, a lot of, and of course they also changed their reveals here this time, where instead of just basically seeing like the foot and the voiceover, here we see like the back of their heads or close of their mouth. Yeah, a little bit. This is actually another change here, which is, I don't have a really big problem with it. It's perfectly fine. Yeah, I mean, if you know who these characters are, we have to show them. And we see all the Black Bulls here, this massive scene, which, by the way, this reveal showing all the Black Bulls here, all the current members at this point, this is not a 2-page spread in the manga. Yeah, though I read it online. Yeah, this was a 2-page spread that the writer did for the series, which I think the anime handled this really, really well. And then they're about to attack him, and all of a sudden the magic starts shrinking, which same effect is in the manga, and of course Asa's the one basically you see him. They actually add a little sequence of him taking out the sword and reversing it. And then like Yama's like, cool, magic's reversed, which means I get to attack him. Yay! And then we add another sequence here. We see some silver and fire, and they're stopped. And who are these two? Why, it's Nozel and Vergolion. Nozel stops Yumi, and Vergolion holds Amito. And he's like, what are you doing here? We have orders for the Wizard King. And this is a big change to the manga. Very big change. Because in the manga, basically, the orders for the Wizard King is that the Black Bulls and be associated with devils are banished from the kingdom. and investigating devils. This is a change. They actually cut out the whole thing of them being banished, which I think that Studio Parrot must have saw that line and said, yeah, that's stupid. Let's have them just simply investigate the devils and take responsibility, which is a big change in the manga. Like, oh my gosh, so much big change. Which, in my opinion, actually does work. And of course, well, prior to Yami attacking Damito, he puts a Black Bull's robe on Swill and declares her a member of the Black Bulls. Yep. And of course, the robe is similar to all the other Black Bulls members. Yep. In case you're wondering, does she play a role in this particular arc after this portion of this particular arc, as what happened here? She doesn't return again toward the very end of the very arc of this particular, toward the end of this current arc they're working on. Yep. And of course, the line she said pretty much the same. I'm not from this era. That take Asta, flee, and of course that's when Yumi puts it on. Yeah. And after they finish there, it's mostly the same after this. And then we cut to the Wizard King, where Damito basically goes visit them. And it's, actually, almost before I get to this scene, they actually made another additional scene I forgot to mention here, where Goosh is going freaking nuts attacking Austin and anybody around this area just for the matter of touching Marie. Well, he's protecting her. Of course he has the red touch. He's not touching her inappropriately. He's just holding her back. Like, what's so inappropriate about that? Yeah, and Marie being upset with him, like, big brother, I told you not to attack Asta. Yeah. Which means that she likes Asta more than her own brother. Yeah. But she's an adorable little girl. And I thought this was a great little scene here. I thought this was a great addition they made to the anime. The whole thing giving Marie more lines, because in the manga, she's barely in this portion of this arc. After this, she disappears. She's never seen again in the series after this. Zora is seen once after this, where he's seen escaping from the Black Bull's base, and he's never seen in the manga. He hasn't shown up recently, as far as I know. No. Now, cutting to the scene that happened like right after this. This is actually where the anime actually ends the episode, because what happened next after this particular scene relates to Charlotte, which is actually not in the episode because they actually cut this off 6 pages in, though they actually started to adapt page 7, but they stopped. Yeah. Basically, we see Damito confronting the Wizard King about what happened, mostly the same, and we have Marks coming in, basically crying, and they actually slightly change this a bit, where the stuff he says to them after they cut away from him is shown from outside, not from a camera window, where he tells them, yeah, like, I'm not forgiving you, huh? You have a amount of paperwork, what? And you have a lot of problems, what? Yeah, that's where the episode ends. This is by far a really good episode of the series, and I think that Studio Parrot must be listening to people, because people have been complaining to them probably that, hey, you're going way too fast. You're almost getting to the point you're almost going to run out of manga. Slow down. Yeah, that's my personal guess. They probably have been hearing complaints and probably get some criticism of the fact they're basically going through this arc way too quickly. For an arc that's roughly 14 chapters, they've already adapted like the first 5 chapters. It's, oh yeah, what 6? No, they only adapted up at page 6. Now, next week's episode is, from what I can tell, an anime original, because it's called Nero Remembers, which means we're probably going to explore her backstory over the next couple episodes, because I've heard about this one. Yeah, we're going to get a 2-parter. Yeah, this is the first time they've actually done this since season 1. Where it's basically the Wizard King Saw, and the follow-up was Wizard King Saw Continued. Yeah, which makes this the first like anime original episode since episode 13 of the series. Yeah, I mean, you're probably thinking, wait, then what about the one where you explore Asta's time training with that one guy who appears in Witch's Forest arc? That's not anime original. That is actually canon, believe it or not. Yeah, that's actually something from a light novel. Yeah, my guess is the reason why I did, probably because they wanted to extend the arc itself. Yeah. So it looks like we're going to anime original territory next week, which I think is fine. Stay with this for a little while the manga basically produces a little bit more. In case you're wondering, like, how many chapters is the anime behind on the manga? If you want to know how much, it's 20. Yep, it's 20 chapters. Yeah, 20 chapters. I hope we get a little bit more of this. Like, I don't mind occasionally going to canon stuff, but can we do some more anime original stuff? Just give the manga some breathing room, because this arc was roughly 14 chapters, and I think doing something like this basically for next week is fantastic. Basically, make the arc in the anime longer than the actual arc itself. Even though, yes, we're only 2 episodes in, and the next 2 episodes are part of this arc, so maybe we're gonna get more than 14 episodes out of this. If I were the anime, I would basically extend this to about a good 10-15 episodes. Why? Like, make this arc basically a little bit longer than the actual longer. Make it longer than it actually is in the manga, because this arc was really short, and you could have squeezed in a lot of stuff that happened between these chapters, because some of these chapters basically, it seems like they're like some stuff could have happened off screen, and you could have explored it. I mean, heck, 2 characters' backstories basically are explored in this current arc. Yeah, basically they explore Charlotte's, and they explore Gordon's, basically his family as well, which I'm looking forward to when they adapt that stuff. But my guess is for Charlotte, bless you, they probably won't get to that for about 2 or 3 episodes at least. My guess is they probably won't get to that, and this is just my honest opinion, probably not until, I'd say, at the rate they're going at, probably like 123. Actually, 123 is next week. I think it might be, and this is my personal theory, I think they might not get to the Charlotte stuff, probably not until episode maybe, and this is my personal theory, I don't think until episode 125. I think it's wait to that particular point. Wait about 3 episodes after this to get to Charlotte stuff. Yeah, because there's still like a lot of stuff you can do with this arc. Make the arc long. That's just my opinion on the matter, okay? So yeah, that's it for this particular review. I might have time to do another review. I don't know. It's possible. Yeah, but I don't think I'll be able to do it tonight, because I want to do another review for any wash up. So probably expect that tomorrow at this rate, okay? But do this next view. Bye.